Good morning, students. So yesterday we had studied the different stages of statistical tools, what is statistics as a plural as well as singular noun. So today we would be studying the different statistical tools. So yesterday what were the statistical stages we had studied? That is, क्या बताया था मैंने आपको? Compile, collecting, organization, presentation, analysis and interpretation. So today the first topic would be what are the statistical tools for these stages. So what was our first stage? Collection. So under collection there are different tools, that is census or sample. So what is a census? So statistics will collect the data of the entire universe or population. It's the same thing. So what is a universe? Say for example, there are 100 students in a class and I will be collecting the data of all the 100 students. So for me, those 100 students become a universe. So this is known as census, collecting the data of the entire universe or population. So what is sample? When there are 100 students in a class, but I take only the average of 10 students, that is a sample. That out of 100 students, I have taken a sample of 10 students and collected the data. So under collection we have census or sample. Next, second one we have organization. Organization, they are array of data and tally marks. This you have already studied in your lower classes. Tally marks क्या है? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ऐसे tally करना. Third one is presentation. We can present data in different forms, that is we can have it in a tabular form, graphical presentation or diagrams. Each of the tools, there is a separate chapter which we would be studying in detail. Next, fourth one is analysis. Under analysis we will be having percentage, that is taking the percentage of the data or the averages and correlation. And the last one, fifth stage is interpretation. Interpretation is nothing but magnitude or percentage, averages between different economic values. So all these different tools we would be studying in detail in each of the chapters. Next we have scope of statistics. There are three scopes, that is nature of statistics, subject matter of statistics and limitation of statistics. So first scope is nature of statistics. Statistics is both an art as well as science. So why is statistics a science? Because there are various methods or principles which have been involved in statistics, and according to those methods or principles we would be saying that statistics is a science. Why is it an art? There are different methods which are being used in statistics, but every person has a way to use those methods. That is the reason statistics is both an art as well as science. Next is subject matter. ये बहुत ही boring सा topic है. But under subject matter we will have descriptive and inferential. तो descriptive क्या हो गया? हम ये जो भी tools या methods use करेंगे, that becomes a descriptive data for statistics. हम जो methods use कर रहे हैं statistical information लेने के लिए, वो हमारा descriptive subject matter हो गया. Next is the inferential. Inferential means whatever conclusions we are taking are drawn on the basis of sample. Say for example, there are 100 students in a class and it is asked what is the average percentage of maths marks in these 100 students. So I do not take the entire universe of population, but I take the average of 10 students. I will be taking higher mark, lower mark, in between mark and stating that the average of maths in this class is 50%. So did I collect the data of the entire population or universe? No. I just took a sample of 10 students and stated that the average marks of maths in the class of 100 students is 50%. So out of the universe, I took a sample and collected the data. This is known as limitation of statistics. So what are the disadvantages or limitation of statistics? The first one is study of numerical facts only. So statistics is expressed only in the numerical facts or numbers. The qualitative information is being ignored. Say in a company we have employees, they are happy employees, they are sad employees. But does statistics takes into consideration the qualitative information? No. But in economics, the qualitative information is also very important to derive the conclusions. But statistics deals only with numerical facts, which is a major disadvantage in statistics. Next is study of aggregate facts only. So yesterday I have already told one of the feature of statistics is that takes into consideration only the aggregate facts and a single fact is not taken into consideration. Say for example, a salary of a teacher might be rupees 50,000. But according to statistics, it cannot be said that it is an information related to stats. There should always be a comparison between two or more data to define as statistics. The salary of a teacher may not be statistics or may not be important in collecting a data. But personally for a teacher, it is very important factor. So another disadvantage is that it takes only aggregate facts. Next is homogeneity of data. Homogeneity means similar. So under statistics, when we compare data, it should be in the same units. Say if it is in rupees, all the data which has been included should be in rupees. If it's in kgs, grams, liters, so whatever data is available to us should be in the same unit, that is homogeneity of data. Next, can be used only by experts. One of the major disadvantages is that statistics can be understood and used only by the experts. Say for example, if I say the mean of class 11th is 50%. So today a layman cannot understand what a mean is. Mean actually is only averages. Today you can understand it because in your lower classes you have studied what is mean, median, mode. But for a common man or a layman, it is not possible to know what mean is. But understanding the mean, median, mode doesn't make you all the expert. आगे आगे हम जब पढ़ेंगे तब आपको समझ आएगा एक्सपर्ट क्या है स्टैटिस्टिक्स में. Anyway, jokes apart, the last limitation is without reference, result may prove to be wrong. So in case of statistics, there should be an reference, otherwise the results will be wrong. Let me give you an example. There is company A, company B. The profit of company A first year is 1,000, second year 2,000, third year 3,000. And for company B it is 3,000, 2,000, 1,000. So if I ask you which company is better, you would be saying company A. Why is it so? Because you are seeing that the profits of company A is increasing year after year. But what is happening to company B? It is decreasing year after year. But now if I take the average of both the companies, say company A average 1,000 plus 2,000 plus 3,000, it is 6,000 divided by 3, we get 2,000. And company B, same thing, 6,000 divided by 3, we get 2,000. Now if I ask you which company is better, you would say it is the same because the average of both the companies is the same, that is 2,000. Now if I just give you a data of company A and company B and ask you to find out which company is better, will you be able to say whether company A is better or B? No. Why? Because you don't have any reference of their profits and you cannot judge which company is better. That is one of the limitations of statistics, that without any reference we cannot draw conclusions. The next topic we go on to is the importance of statistics. So statistics इतना important क्यों है economics में और उसके क्या फायदे हैं? So the first one is quantitative expression of economic problems. So as we all know that statistics is all in numbers or numerically expressed, it is a benefit for the economic problems. So we have various economic problems and the biggest one is population. And because of population we have poverty, unemployment. So how does statistics solve this problem? It is quantitatively expressed. Say for example, we can know the population of India by having census in every 10 years. So as we know the population, how much it is increasing, we will know the rate of unemployment and poverty as well. Next we have is intersectorial and intertemporal comparison. Intersector is nothing but sector-wise comparison and intertemporal is nothing but time-wise comparison. So what is sector-wise comparison? With the help of statistics, we can find out the data that whether the literacy rate is more in rural area or urban area, or unemployment is more in metro cities or B-town cities. So statistics help us to compare sector-wise data, and intertemporal is nothing but over the years what are the changes that will be available and how can the problems be solved. The third point is economic forecasting. Economic forecasting is nothing but forecasting a future. Say for example, we have a data of 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18. So in 2014 our gold price was say 25,000, then it increased to 27,000, 30,000, 32,000, etc. So seeing this data, we predicted that in 2020 our gold prices will increase. So today what is our gold price? 2020 the gold price is 55,000. So this prediction may not always be true, but when we compare the past data, we predict that or we forecast that in the future also it would be the same. Next we have formulation of policies. There are different policies which are formed by the government, and the statistics helps the government to formulate different kind of policies. The fifth point is working cause and effect relationship. So there is always an cause and effect relationship in different kinds of data. So in the economics try to find out what the problems is and what can be the solution for that. And if there is some solution, it will suggest the government for the same. The last one is economic equilibrium. Economic equilibrium is nothing but a balance between a producer and a consumer. Who is a producer? The one who produces goods. Say for example, this marker pen is produced by somebody. So he is a producer. And who is a consumer? Somebody who purchases it. So today I have purchased this pen. So I am the consumer. So what does the producer want? He wants to maximize his profit and increase his income. And me as a consumer, what do I want? I want maximum satisfaction. This pen should be working very smoothly and dark, and then I would be satisfied with the product. This is just a basic example for you to understand who is a producer and consumer. So to have a balance between the producer and the consumer and get what they want, that is, producer should get maximum profit and the consumer should get maximum satisfaction. This we will be studying in detail in class 12 in our economics subject. So we are done with the first chapter. We shall start with the second chapter tomorrow. Thank you.